Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hope everyone's doing alright. So I got an email, and it's a very good email, and I have a lot to say about it, so I'm actually going to make this a two-part video. I'm going to kind of dissect the email. I'm going to ramble and discuss my thoughts on it, and it will 100% help people, both who are younger, older. And I want to apologize again for not making videos on a regular basis, guys. I'm just busy a lot. I work a lot. I'm not getting a lot of sleep, but now I got a good video topic and my heart is in it, so let's get to it. Title of the email is Moving to Cambodia at 18 by a gentleman named Charles. What's up, Charles? Thanks for the email, man. He says, hey, what's up? No joke. I'm a 17-year-old from America, and a lifelong dream of mine is to experience living in another country. As I near the end of high school, moving to Cambodia and teaching English looks like a perfect opportunity to fulfill this dream. So well spoken, sir. He says, I currently have a job and I'm saving up money for the move. However, most Cambodian expats online have been rather discouraging. Of course they have, man. Of course they have. They are such assholes. And tell me things like I will not be able to find a job because of my age, and that I'll get kidnapped among other silly things, among other silly shit. He says, however, I'm fully aware that the chances of you getting robbed, etc. in Cambodia as a Westerner are greatly reduced if you don't act like a total dumbass. He says, what do you think? Is moving to Cambodia at such a young age a bad idea? The last thing I want to do is fall into the American rat race. Cheers. Wow, man. I have a lot to say about this. Alright, so we got a gentleman, he's 17, he's almost done with high school, he's got big dreams, big ambitions, and I think that's awesome. Now, a lot of the young people I met in Cambodia that were like 18, 19 years old were mostly kids from Europe. And kids from Europe, they have what's called a gap year. So what they'll do is in between that year of high school and college, they'll go travel around to Latin America, to Southeast Asia and all that, and do the tour there, usually on their parents' dime. Usually on their parents' dime because they're kids. But this guy has a job of his own, he's saving up money. The most expensive part of moving to Cambodia is the plane ticket, 100%. It's not getting a hotel, it's not getting an apartment, it's not getting clothes and food. It's gonna be getting there, for sure. Let's talk about going there as a young guy. Let's talk about going there as a young person. The pros and cons. If you go as a young guy, if you go as 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, the advantages is that you're still young, you're not tied down, you're not jaded by life, you're not jaded by your bad relationships or trials and tribulations of life. So you can go there with a free mind, a free conscience, a free spirit, and you'll have a much better time there because you know that you don't have to come back to a family, a job you hate. You know, you're young, you're free, you're open-minded, and all. You have like your whole life in front of you. It's as corny as it sounds, it's fucking true, man. So that's definitely an advantage of going when you're young, is that you do have your whole life ahead of you. You're not tied down. So I suggest you do it, man. One of the cons is that you are very young. Is that although you might think you're very smart, and I'm not talking to just you, Charles, I'm talking to anybody who's young and they want to travel abroad, especially by themselves, to a place that they don't know anything about or they don't know any people. A lot of y'all think that you got it all figured out, and that's how I was when I was 17 and 18 as well. I thought I had the whole world figured the fuck out, when in reality I probably never will. You know, so you're gonna go over there as a young guy, and you're probably gonna make some mistakes, man. You're probably gonna trust people that you shouldn't trust. You're probably gonna get haggled. You're probably gonna, you know, associate with the wrong people. You might get played by a woman. You might get played by a woman. It happens, man. It happens. And people might try to take advantage of you because you're young, but I'm not saying that's a fact. It's just my thought on it. So I suggest that if you're gonna go when you're young, you go there with the attitude that you go there with a humble attitude, that you don't have it all figured out, that you're doing this to learn about yourself, you're doing it to learn about the world. You're going there with an open mind to learn a new culture, to learn a new language, new customs, and don't go over there like you have it all figured out and like you're some fucking expert world traveler. That's my advice. You know, And I would do it while you're young, while you still have the balls and that young man's ambition, because a lot of people, when they get a bit older, they start to play it safe. People start to play it safe when they get 30, 40, 50. They're like, oh man, you know, it's too much of a risk. What if I get sick? Do they have health care? Or the hospital's good? Well, when you're a young guy, or a young woman for that matter, you don't really think about the consequences of your actions quite as much, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing, man. So I totally suggest you do it when you're young, man. Just go there with a few $1,000 and have somewhat of a plan, man. Let me see what time I got. So we got about almost 6 minutes deep. I'm going to talk about one more little thing here, and that's about let's see, Cambodian expats online. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Cambodian expats online. There's a lot of like expat forums there. There's Khmer 440. There is Cambodian expats online. And before I moved to Cambodia, obviously I did a shit ton of research. I was doing as much research as I could, and a lot of the blogs that I read were from this website called Khmer 440, Khmer 440. And the way that they write their stuff, it's very negative and cynical, and it really paints a negative light of the Cambodian people, of the expats, and it's just an overall negative vibe. And what I've learned over the years is that these people, a lot of these Cambodian expats that are internet trolls and make these negative, like, it's just a negative blog, a negative way of speaking about things. A lot of these people are just, they're disheveled, they're jaded. It's the, you know, like Cambodia was the last place that they were allowed to go. So a lot of these expats, like, they're the worst of the worst. They're the lowest of the low fucking losers, man. So my biggest piece of advice for people that are reading these blogs in Cambodia where they say, oh man, if you come here, you're gonna get shot in the fucking head the second you step off the plane. You're gonna beat a bunch of fucking whores, and you're not gonna make money, and people are gonna rob you and this and that. Well, dude, they're just voicing their own fear of failure through you, man. They're just talking shit, to put it simply. And that's something that I did, that I actually let that get to me. Like, for example, before I went to Cambodia, I spent a week in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I spent a week in this guest house there called Look Thai. And before I went to Phnom Penh, I was a little nervous, you know. I was reading blogs about moving to Phnom Penh, and like, pretty much everything I read was about getting mugged and getting, you know, ganged up on by several dudes in an alleyway, getting robbed. And then so what I started doing was I started hyping myself up. I'm like, damn, you know, I got to work on my Muay Thai skills. Like I better work on my boxing skills. You know, I better be a little bit more, you know, serious when I walk around so nobody fucks with me. And all that was a waste of my energy, because I lived there for exactly 2 years to the day. And I can honestly tell you that not one time did the Cambodian locals ever cause me a problem. They never once approached me in an aggressive manner. I never once got robbed. I never once got the stare. I mean, you know, occasionally there's some rude people, but that's everywhere. The only people I ever ran into a problem with were the other white expats. That's it. And I'm not going to get into details, but I'm sure that some of y'all know about it, were other foreigners that gave me a problem. So don't buy into these negative blogs. Don't buy into the Cambodian expats online, Khmer 440. These guys are honestly, literally, they're just fucking haters, man. They're haters. They've been beaten down by life. They're upset that they're not successful, man. Anyways, that's all I have to say in this video. I'm gonna make another one where I finish the email. I think this information I have is very important for people not just going to Cambodia, but going abroad. And real quick before I close this out, my little brother Clayton, I love my little brother, man. He started his own YouTube channel just the other day. He's trying to get more fans and followers, and if you guys are a fan of me, then you have to be a fan of my little brother, man. His channel's called Clayton Kicks, and I'll put all of the information in the description box below. You guys can check out his channel. Please subscribe. Give him some criticism. Give him some love. Talk some shit to him. Do something. Help him get better, man. Anyways, y'all, stay tuned for part 2. Peace!